Welcome to our Amud Mishir. We are in the Seder of Dirshu, and we are, Baruch Hashem, now advancing in the Sugya of Muktzeh. Muktzeh, where are we? Which Daf? Mem Vav, are we? Yeah. We are in Daf Mem Hey Amud Beis in the very bottom of the page in order to get to today's Amud Mem Vav Amud Aleph. So yesterday we introduced a new concept. That concept was the fact that sometimes there are muktas that are so big that a person just sets aside place for them. They're not meant to move around or to be moved around. We call it furniture. There are different levels of those, Tosfos says. And a menorah, for example, a menorah, like a candelabra, a menorah that you have, because it's so big, so then you could say that one shouldn't move it regardless of the other issues of Muktzeh. In other words, could be that even Reb Shimon would agree to that, right? That's nothing to do with Shimon Reb Yehuda, that a big menorah one shouldn't move. Rish Lakish said if you can move it with one hand, it's still movable and not Muktzeh. Two hands is Muktzeh. And Rabbi Yochanan said both are Muktzeh. In general, we didn't yet leave Machlokes Reb Shimon Reb Yehuda. It's a long one. It's a long journey. And basically, we debated whether Rabbi Yochanan holds like Reb Shimon or like Rabbi Yehuda. Right now, and it seems to be the ongoing trend, is that Rabbi Yochanan is more like Rabbi Yehuda. Yeah, this is what Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Yosef said when he came from Eretz Yisrael. He said that Rabbi Yochanan holds the halachas like Rabbi Yehuda. Now, Rabbi Shimon ben Levi said like Rabbi Shimon. So let's continue. Amar Abai Rabbi Yosef. This is part of a discussion between Abai and Rabbi Yosef that started before. The Arei Kilas Chasanim. Kilas Chasanim is basically like a canopy of Chasanim. That is to say, it's a canopy. In other words, sometimes people have it on their bed to chase away the mosquitoes. Basically, you have like a triangle shaped. You have like a contraption on your bed, and it's like a tent. It's a tent shaped. Usually, it's like lace. Like very. We had it. My son did when he was a baby. Yeah, over his cot, over his crib. Yeah. So one time, this is very important to know. You have like a triangle, like a pyramid shaped cloth on the bed. There's like one stick, one pole that goes above the bed, stuck with two other sticks to the sides, and then you have like a fabric, usually very thin, that goes on both sides, it's like spreads out, okay, on both sides, and that is called kilas chasanim. Maybe they use it for the beds of the chos and kala, something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah, so the kilas chasanim had that kind of fabric over it. So the Odom Kover Mokoim, such a thing, a bed, and that cloth over the bed, a person clearly is Kover Mokoim, it's a furniture, and yet, V'amar Shmuel L'Shum Rabchia, Shmuel B'Shem Rabchia says that Kilas Chasanim, it says regarding Binyan Vestira, Mutar Lintoisa Umutar Lefarka B'Shabbos. One is allowed to build it, and one is allowed to dismantle it on Shabbos. In other words, if I have not managed to build the sticks, if I have that pole over my bed ready, that frame, and all I do is drape it over the bed like that, there's no problem of ohel. Why? Of building ohel. Ohel has to have a minimum of tefach on top. But if there's no surface of tefach in the top, and it's like that, it's pointed, or even less than pointed, no tefach in the top, flat, then there's no problem of binyan or stira. Yeah, so no problem. So on Shabbos, you're allowed to drape it over, put it on, put it off, no hard feelings. If you have a tefach, that would be a different story. But that's not the case over here, but kilas chasanim, and therefore it's okay. But wait a second. It's very nice in Dobin Investira. What about Muktzeh? If you say that it's not meant to be moved all the time, it's a piece of furniture at the end of the day. It's supposed to be there. It's not like your I don't know, blanket. It's supposed to stay there normally. When you wash it, maybe you take it off. I don't know. But normally it's a piece of furniture. So who cares about binyan vestira? I mean, I care, but Lamaisa it's muktzeh. So if you're telling me that furniture that's set aside, you're not supposed to move it. Here you see otherwise. You see you are supposed to move it. You're allowed to move it because you're allowed to build and dismantle and remove. Elo Amar Abai. Therefore, Abai says a different pshat regarding Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. B'shel keshel chulios. Yeah, b'shel chulios, which means we're talking here about a menorah that is made out of many different pieces. In other words, you have chuliot. Chuliot is a vertebra. You have a lot of pieces, a lot of links, like links in a chain. You have like slabs. You have pieces, one builds into the other. That menorah is not one piece. We actually have such a menorah at home. Yeah, you have a menorah like you screw it or something, you put one piece into the other, and then you have the menorah like that, like built from different pieces. So that kind of menorah, the problem is nothing to do with muktzeh. It's a problem of chulios. What's the problem? It says Rashi, Shema tipel v'tisparek v'yachzirena v'nimtzo isikli. If that menorah falls apart, you start moving it on Shabbos, it may fall apart. You want to assemble it again. You want to assemble it and build it again. There will be a problem of bona, and therefore we're not going now into binyan v'stira b'kelim. You're not allowed to be, even though ein binyan v'stira b'kelim. That means that is still not true when you really stick it hard. When you stick it in a way of derech umnus, if you stick something well and hard in a professional way or sticks it very well, it's also the rabbanon or the raisa. It's an old issue in boina. And therefore, don't do that. Don't move that menorah. It may fall apart, but you reassembling it, however, boina, that's a problem. Okay. So nothing to do with muktzeh or because it's big size. The shari. Why, if so, why is Reb Shimon Lakish allowing? And also Reb Shimon Lakish, what did he say? With one hand, it's okay. If you take it with two hands, it's not okay. What's the difference? It has nothing to do with size, really, or the fact because size, therefore it's muktzeh. Nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that it's made out of many pieces. It may fall apart. You may rebuild it. So why does the Shlakish allow if it's a small one? It can still break, maybe more easily. Answers the Gemara, Baruch Hashem, my chuliois ke'ein chuliois the isba chidki, which means we're not talking about a menorah that really, like the column of a menorah has a lot of pieces that stick one into the other, but rather, no, it has chidki. It looks like chulios. Chidki means it has grooves. It looks like it has, it's like fake menorah shel chulios. There's like a style, Yeah, in other words, it looks like there's lots of grooves between one piece and the other. It's really all one piece, but it looks like it has many, many pieces. And because it looks like that, people may come to use it. Man dechazi sovel shapokimi, says Rashi. If you use that one, people would think that you're using menorah shel prakim. And menorah shel prakim, the real one, is a real problem because you may come to rebuild it. Hilkach. So now, how does that answer Shlakish? Why is there a difference between big and small? Explains the Gemara. Therefore, the chuliois, if it's really made out of chuliois, meaning it's actually made out of lots of pieces, right? One sticking into the other. Ben gdola ben ktana asur l'taltela. And I don't care whether it's large or small. It's also to carry, because at the end of the day, you may come to fall apart. You may come very easily to reassemble it. Gdoilo nami the isbachidki gzera atu gdoilo the chulios. Yeah, which means a big menorah. Most menorahs that Rashi says, the big menorahs were usually made out of chulios. That's what Rashi says. The big menorahs was much more normal to make them out of many pieces. So when you have a big menorah, what's big? You need two hands to move it. It's real big. You need both hands. You use both hands. So then what do? Such a menorah, if it's big and it looks like chulios, no, don't move it. Because many, many big menorahs are made out of chulios. So the one who looks like chulios, that's bad enough. Keep ligi. Finally, we get to Machloikes Shlakish and Rabbi Yochanan. What's the argument? Bektana de isbachidki. We're talking here about a menorah that's small, but that small menorah is not really from chulios. Otherwise, it would be osir. It has grooves. It has like charitzim grooves one next to the other. Malsov gazrinan and malsov alo gazrinan. Rabbi Yochanan says you go there, even though it's small, and the small menorahs are less commonly made from lots of pieces. You still are geyser. Rabbi Yochanan extended the gzera. That's legitimate. Shlakish says no. There's no reason to ask now because gzeras rabbanon always like that. Some people put the line over here and some over there, so that's okay. They just had the gzera about a small menorah that looks like chulios, right? But normally small ones are not made out of chulios. Shall we not extend the gzera that far? Now back to the muktzeh. Before we continue, by the way, that okay. Also regarding the chulios, yeah. Tosfos says, Tosfos Vakilas Chasanim. Let's look inside Tosfos Kilas Chasanim before we continue. Yeah, it's like the second Tosfos in the Amud. Vakilas Chasanim Dodom Kavel Lamokom. Pirush Rashba. Dodom Kavel Lamokom Kmo Lemenoiro Vafiloach Ishar Shmuel. Right, which means if you really follow the sugya, we have discarded the whole idea of Kavel Lamokom. We spoke about chulios, but if something is like super big, still it's never Muktzeh. Right? So it sounds like. Says Tosfos, no. Adam kovel lamokom, I'm repeating, kmo lemenoiro, and it's still allowed, which means the level of kvius mokoim of menoiro in a bed is the same. It's not kavua enough. Elavada eloi choshev kvius shalav shemenoiro kvius. That kvius of a bed and a lamp is not choshev enough to be kavua. Ela heicha de kova mokom legamre kedamin per kol hakelim. Says Tosfos, if a person is completely koveh mokoim and never, ever moves the furniture from there, then could be its muktzeh. I don't know what's the halacha. Remember, the halacha says that even if a kli is very big, it stays a kli. I think that's halacha as far as I remember. If I remember well enough, let's say you have your sforim shrunk, your sforim cupboard, which you never, ever move. Now look, the table you sometimes move. Yeah, but you have something you maybe Erev Pesach, maybe even that you hardly move. Yeah, when you move house. Yeah, so then could be you're not allowed to move it on Shabbos. Ask your rabbi, not me. Weiter. Frag the Gemara. Okay. Umi Omar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. What's Hachi? Did Rabbi Yochanan really say halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, that Muktzeh applies, and Muktzeh applies when? What's one Mechlokas Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon? About Ben Hashmoshes. Does Rabbi Yochanan, does he always believe Rabbi Yehuda regarding Muktzeh, as you just told me, when you came from Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Yosef? Did you say really that what? We hold of Muktzeh in the stronger form? Look, Rabbi Yochanan, halacha kistam Mishnah, the famous rule that halacha kistam Mishnah was said by Rabbi Yochanan. What's halacha kistam Mishnah? When a Mishnah says something without mentioning the name of a Tana, right? Anonymous, stam, a regular Mishnah, halacha is like that Mishnah, because why did Rabbi say it like that? Why did Rabbi HaKadosh say, just mention the Mishnah without any names? Because, to tell me what? That's halacha. That's a stam opinion. That's a standard default opinion. And yet, V'tanan, a Mishnah that we saw very recently, Muchni Shalah. Remember the cart, that chariot, that thing, that carty thing with the wheels on both sides. Muchni, the wheel of that cart. Bizmanshi nishmetes. If that wheel is detachable, ein chibulo. It's not considered mechubar to the cart regarding Tuma V'tara, right? Which means if Tuma touches one of them, it's not affecting the other one. If that cart is 40 saw, so the 40 saw is measured from the outer walls, not the inner walls of the kli, right? If a kli is 40 saw, what do we say? It's not mekabel tum anymore if it's from wood, right? So you look from the outside, but the wheels are not measured with that. If you have 40 saw, from looking from the wheels, no. You start measuring from the body of the cart, not from the wheels when you measure the outside dimension of 40 saw. Remember the picture we had? Let's say that you have a cart and the cart itself is not mekabel tuma because it's 40 saw big. Because it doesn't receive tuma, it protects other things from receiving tuma from the outside, what's inside of it. But let's say you have some food that's sticking out from the top of the cart, which is open as no roof, convertible, no roof. But then you have the wheels that are bigger on both sides, and the wheels are protecting it from the side. The wheels are not protective from tuma. Why? Because the wheels are actually defined as something different, and the wheels themselves are not 40 saw. So they are mekabel tuma. If they mekabel tuma, they can't protect others. And here comes the main point: the end goyrerin oiso b'Shabbos is man sheyesh aleim ois. And if on the wheel, that wheel had some kind of receptacle in it, like a kli kibul, and you're not supposed to ligro, not supposed to carry the wheel on Shabbos, if at the moment you have money on the wheel. Oh, mashma, let's be medayik the Mishnah, ha'en alei amois sharia. Sounds like if there's no money right now, I'm allowed to move the wheel. Wheel of fortune, there's money there, yeah? The afal gav de havu le ben hashmoshes. The natural diuk is that even though ben hashmoshes there was money on it, I don't care. I only care if there's money right now when I'm moving it. That's not like Rabbi Yehuda, it's like Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda does care when it was there Ben Hashmoshes. If it was there Ben Hashmoshes, even though it was removed after Ben Hashmoshes by my 2 years old, then what? Still what? You're not supposed to touch the wheel, move the wheel the whole Shabbos. And here we don't say like that. We say like Rab Shimon. And you tell me Rabbi Yochanan is like Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yochanan says like Stam Mishnah, and the Stam Mishnah is like Rab Shimon. Short circuit. Amar Bzeira Te Mishnah Seinu would like to read our Mishnah, the Mishnah of the wheel of the Muchni. Shelo hoyo ole amois kol ben hashmoshes. In other words, your diuk was wrong. When we differentiated between the money being there when I want to move the wheel and the money not being there, that's surely providing on condition that there was no money the entire ben hashmoshes. In other words, just the other way around. In order to make it mutter, you will really do follow Rabbi Yehuda. You need to tick 2 boxes. It wasn't there ben hashmoshes, and it's not there right now, like Rabbi Yehuda. Then you can move it. Why do we want to read the Mishnah that way? Who told us? In order not to break the words of Rabbi Yochanan, in order that the words of Rabbi Yochanan should make sense. We sound very extreme over here all the time. Rabbi Yochanan is like Rabbi Yehuda. Sounds like this is going very, very strongly. This we had another opinion. Here Rabbi Yochanan is a very big Rabbi Yehuda man, and even that Mishnah, which is a Stam Mishnah, Rabbi Yochanan holds, must be like Rabbi Yehuda. And when we say if the money is on, it's not okay. Money is off, it's okay. The money is off is okay, only providing the money wasn't there on Ben Hashmoshes. But if the money was there Ben Hashmoshes, it is a problem because we do hold of Rabbi Yehuda. Yes, Rabbi Yochanan holds of Rabbi Yehuda. In Stam Mishnah, everything is painted Rabbi Yehuda style over here. Good, happy. Shab Shimon with that word the Muktzeh, but he does not believe in Migo Diskatzoi. And here it's Migo Diskatzoi. Therefore, according to Rab Shimon, even if you had the money, Shema. No, ו? לא, אבל אי אפשר להגיד שהמשנה הזאת רב שמעון. כי רבי יוחנן נוחז כמו מי? כמו רבי יהודה, ורבי יוחנן נוחז כמו סתם משנה, אז הסתם משנה הזאת חייב גם להיות רבי יהודה. צריכים שהכל יהיה סטייל רבי יוחנן. לכן העמדנו את המשנה כמו רבי יהודה, כדי שיתאים לרבי יוחנן שאוחז כמו רבי יהודה. יכולנו להעמיד כמו רבי שמעון, ודאי, זה פשוט פשוט. אבל הכל הולכים פה עם רבי יהודה, כי רבי יוחנן נוחז עם רבי יהודה, ורבי יוחנן נוחז עם סתם משנה, סתם משנה צריכה להיות רבי יהודה. A equals B, B equals C, A equals C, everything has to be equal. Settle? Omar b'Shoben Levi. Oh, more. One time Rebbe, this is back to the menorah business, to the big menorah. Once Rebbe went to a city, a town called Diuspera, a place. Did you hear that? He gave a hoiro. Yeah, he gave a halacha l'maisa b'menoiro kerab Shimon bener. What does that mean? B'menoiro l'kerab Shimon iner. If you don't know what that means, you're in good company. The Gemara doesn't know it either. Iboilehu. The Gemara is now trying to decipher what exactly do you mean when you say b'menoiro kerab Shimon bener. Do you mean to say hoiro b'menoiro kerab Shimon bener lehetera, which means maybe he allowed the menorah, meaning maybe Rebbe holds that a menorah, a big menorah, with all the issues that we had, right? So did he say that it's okay, the menorah, and he's not concerned about this Julius business, right? Just like Rabbi Shimon allows an air. Just like Rabbi Shimon says that an air is allowed. Which an air is allowed according to Rabbi Shimon? Enlighten me, please. After it went out, very good. Even if it stinks, it went out is okay, right? Nevertheless, not nevertheless. In the same way, so too in menorah, he said, I'm not concerned about menorah. Meaning, if the menorah is big, small, I don't care. I'm not concerned about the business of a menorah. Maybe it's going to break, and maybe it's going to look like the one that's breaking. Yeah, we're not going to atu chulius. By the way, no, I should be careful with my words. The one of chulius he doesn't allow, but the one that looks like chulius, the one that has those grooves, that's fake, and you go to the person's living room and you say, oh, is that Julius? Yes, no, it's a new style from IKEA. Julius style. So then what? Then he says, I don't care. I allow that. No problem with that. I'm not concerned. Maybe people look and think. Chatzar Reb Shimon allows an air. I'm not sure what the comparison, but he allows that the same way, meaning you can move it around. No problem. Yeah. Oy Dilma, or maybe Rebbe meant to say, Hoyer b'menorah leisura. There are two separate piskei halacha. He was moira b'menorah to aser. By the way, you should know hayra usually is le'isul. That's what the Gemara is inclined to say that. If you just look at the word hayra, who told you aser? Yeah, interesting. I didn't know that. I saw Nechroinim in the back. I did prepare today. I was in Yerushalayim. I looked there. Yeah, hayra b'menorah le'isura. In menorah, you're not allowed to move it. Why? Because people, would think you're moving menorah shel chulios. Comes to Rab Shimon regarding now, that's the same thing as before, just a second psak, like teiku. So really, that's a question about menorah, not about nail. Clearly, Rebbe holds like Rab Shimon regarding nail. That's what we're saying now. Yeah. But when it comes to menorah, a menorah that looks like menorah of chulios, of pieces, are we concerned people would think that a moving menorah is chulios? Maybe yes, maybe no. It's a teiku of Malkia. More stories. We're trying now to get to the halacha l'maisa of do we hold the Rabbi Yehuda or Rab Shimon, and from the stories of different Amoraim, how did they behave? What did they do? Of Malkia, the Amoraim called of Malkia, Ikla leber Rabbi Shamloi. He came to the house of Shamloi, the Tiltel Shraga, and he carried the nair after it was put out, after it went out, as you nicely said. The Ikpad Rabbi Shamloi. And Rabbi Shamloi basically he took umbrage. He was upset about that. Yeah. In other words, Rabbi Shamloi clearly like who? Rabbi Yehuda. Ikpad, he moved it and he was upset. He was angry. Why? Because Masbi is like Rabbi Yehuda. Another story. Rabbi Yossi Glilo, Rabbi Yossi of Galil, Ikla al-Asad Rabbi Yossi of Bechanina, came to the town, to the place of Rabbi Yossi of Bechanina, Tiltel Shraga. He carried the candle after it went out. The Ikpad Rabbi Yosef Bechanina, again, Rabbi Yosef Bechanina was upset. So you see more and more Meroim holding like who? Rabbi Yehuda, that if they went out, even after the candle is already extinguished, it's still a problem because it's Muktzeh, and that's it. Rabbi Abo is something now very, very interesting. Rabbi Abo, L'chayr follows two different psakim. How is that? Rabbi Abo, Ki ikla le'atred Rabbi Shua ben Levi, when it came to the place of Rabbi Shua ben Levi, have a metaltal shraga. If you remember, we said in Daf Mem, Daf Mem with base in the bottom of the page, we said that Rabbi Bachana, Rabbi Yochanan says Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shua ben Levi alochik Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Yochanan like Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Shua ben Levi holds like Rabbi Shimon. So Rabbi Abba, when he came to the place of Rabbi Shua ben Levi, who holds like Rabbi Shimon, have metaltal shaga, then he would carry the candle unlit after it's out. When he came to the time of Rabbi Yochanan, which seems to be completely now with Rabbi Yehuda, then he followed the psak of Rabbi Yehuda not to carry the shaga, the candle. But still, the question is, manafshach, who does he hold by? Who does he hold by? Is Rabbi Yehuda svira le'abed Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Shimon svira le'abed Rabbi Shimon. He holds a Rabbi Yehuda. He should look Rabbi Yehuda all the time. If he holds a Rabbi Shimon, he should look Rabbi Shimon all the time. What's going on over here? Why is he kivyachol playing, double game? Kivyachol. Answers the Gemara, Lolam Rabbi Shimon svira. Really, the emes is he holds a Rabbi Shimon lekula. When he came to the town of Rabbi Yochanan, which was machmir and held like Rabbi Yehuda, then out of respect to the Marda Asra, he followed the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, didn't carry. So Rashi points out something very, very interesting. Look at Rashi. Lo'olam Rabbi Shimon svira. Yeah, a few Rashis from the bottom of the page. The is svira the osu lavim eltaltel lichvod Rabbi Shua ben Levi dilavid isura. Clearly, says Rashi, yeah, if he really held that it's osu, then we wouldn't say out of respect to the Mekel opinion, let's be Mekel, to be Mekel like the local rabbi in that place. That we don't do. Now, when you're Machmir, when you're Mekel, I'm Mekel in something. If you go to a place where they're Machmir, I'll respect the Rav who's Machmir and I'll follow his opinion. Right? The Shenkin the other way around, you don't do that. If you hold of something that's real, Maker Adin Osu, and you go to a place where the Rav is Mekel, you won't be Mekel like them, to respect them and lower your standards. That's a lesson for life. Yeah, people say, and go to a place where people are less frum, I'll be like them, Avat Yisrael, I'll be friendly. It's not right. You have to keep your high standards. The other way around, if you go to a more machmir place, then you have to, up your standard, at least in front of the Rav. Yeah, that's the thing. Weiter. Omar of Yehuda. Now, first wide line. Yeah, you're following, I'm sure. Now, Omar Rav Yehuda. Says Rav Yehuda. It's not Rabbi Yehuda, it's Rav Yehuda. Now we're going back to the topic of Muktzeh machmas mius, yeah, something that is disgusting. Amar Yehuda. Excuse me. Amar Yehuda. Shraga de mashcha shar litiltula. Now, there are two ways to read this Gemara. There is one way, Pashup Pshat with Rashi. We will see Tosfos. I think we have time, Baruch Hashem. We're going to see at least half a Tosfos. Let's now follow Rashi. Let's assume we're talking now according to Rabbi Shimon. Shraga de mashcha shar litiltula. What's shraga de mashcha? What's mashcha? Oil. You have a candle full of oil, and then what? You're allowed to carry. Once it's out, you're allowed to carry. That's Rab Shimon. That is Rab Shimon for you. The nafta also litiltula. Oh, if it was lit with neft, with like crude oil that really smells, really fashtunken azach, yeah, that you're not allowed to carry. Why? Says Rashi, Deloy, yeah, because it's mois. Which means, now I know what I said before, and I don't regret it. We said that according to Rabbi Shimon, Muktzeh machmas mius is okay, right? That sounded very much like that, and that's what some Rishonim say at the beginning in Daf Mem Daled Amud Aleph. Now we're going to see already some cracks in the wall regarding that. And listen to this: it's not all mius is the same. If it's made out of neft, it's so stinking, excuse my language, that the only thing you can do with it is nothing. In other words, what's muktzeh? Even Rabbi Shimon would agree that if there's nothing you can do with a candle, if I keep the minimum of hygiene and normal behavior, yeah, you can only use it for one thing for lighting candles. Last time I checked, lighting candles is also on Shabbos. Once the candle is out and I use like kerosene, like real something that smells really offensive, the only thing I'll do with that is light the candle. I know what I'm saying may be proven wrong later. I'm talking now in general. At this moment, there's nothing you're going to do with that. It's so bad. The only thing is to relight another candle. Well, it's Shabbos. So this is so limited. Even Reb Shimon would agree that's not something you can use on Shabbos. That's muktzeh. It's like a very a severe form of muktzeh machmas mius, which right now we hold Reb Shimon holds. That's exactly what we're saying now. Now, Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef Damri Tavayu, the neftana mishar litiltula. Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef both say no. According to Reb Shimon, even the one lit with neft, with like crude oil, you can also carry it on Shabbos. And on purpose, we're not reading the brackets because that will appear in the Gemara later, right? Why is it you're allowed to carry it according to Reb Shimon? That we're going to see very soon. Continues, we're on purpose not reading any. By the way, we never read round brackets. You know the rule, yeah? Rav Avia, story time. Rav Avia ikla lebei Rove. Rav Avia came to the house of Rove. Have a meisan bekari betina. Rav Avia, the guest, his feet were dirty with mud. Yeah? And what did he do? Ativi apuria kamei de Rove. He sat on a bed in front of Rova, and he made the bed dirty. I'm not sure why. I'm sure these are very heavy gomeroin, but somehow the bed got dirty. Ikpad Rove. Rava was upset about it. Said Rashi, "Mishumtina famita." Rava was upset. You see Rashi, yeah, second to last Rashi. Mishumtinu famita, because the guest is making my sofa, my bed, dirty, not nice. So Rava, the host, being upset with his guest, he wanted to chapper him, to kind of bother him with questions, b'shailos. He asked him. He wanted to say, "No, let's test your learning." Maybe he wanted to say, like, you feel such a big balabos, you can come to my house like that, uninvited, and come accolades without invitation. Yeah, and what did you do? You come, you make my house dirty, my sofa. Let's see such a big Talmid Chacham. Omerle. Now, what did Rava ask Rav Avia? My time Rabbi Rav Yosef Damri Tavayu Shraga Denefta Nami Shar Litiltule, which means, as we just said a minute ago, what's the reason? Why do Rabbi and Rav Yosef both say that a candle lit with neft you can carry it around? We gave a good svara not to, because the thing of neft is so horrible, so full of bad odor, then you won't do anything with it. So why should you carry it? Even according to Reb Shimon, not going to use sticks and stones. It's really not usable except for lighting. Omerle, so the guest is answering Rav Avia. Wow. If there's one thing you can do with that, you can cover with it another dish, not maybe a food dish. Let's say you have some kind of jar or something, right? I don't know if it's full of food because it's full of, other socks, shoes, I don't know. Yeah. And then you can take that candle, which is what? Which really doesn't smell nice. Who needs a nice smell? You cover with that the box. It can be used as a cover. They hold that's good enough to be called non-muktzeh, according to Rabbi Rav Yosef. Trekt Rove, so now the host is asking the guest, Ela Me'ata, according to what you're telling me. Oh, this is, by the way, I'm so happy when I saw this. Whenever you teach people Muktzeh, they always ask this question. Let's stop here and I'll tell you my experiences, yeah? When you tell somebody about Muktzeh, what do you say? Out of the many types of Muktzeh, and there are many, there are two types, yeah? One type is, a pencil, a pen, right? A pen, where you're not allowed to write with it on Shabbos, so move it for no reason, or move it because of its safety. You're allowed to move it gufoy mekoimoy. What's gufoy? I can use the pencil not to write. I can use the pencil to mix my something else. I don't know, my tea. I don't know. Yeah. So now, wait a second. Oh, what about a stone? A stone, nothing you can do with a stone. A stone from the park alone is not a clean. So everyone asks the same question. What do you mean? I can do many, many things with a stone. Just like with a pencil, I can do something else besides writing. A stone too. You know how creative people can get? Don't throw it in the cars. That I wouldn't do. Yeah. But maybe what? I can do tons of things with the stone. Paperweight, play with the kids, whatever. So what's the difference? Well, what is the difference? The stone is not a kli. It wasn't manufactured, not in China, not outside China. Yeah. The pencil was manufactured. And that's a huge difference. That's what gives the kli a much bigger advantage over a non-kli, which is a gufay leisul. Yeah. That's exactly what the Gemara is going to ask now. That not only bet kibul, a pencil is no bet kibul. Last time I checked, it's something produced, manufactured for use, or at least meyuchad for use. If you want to take the stone and use it on Shabbos for a game or something, or for paperweight, yeah, or for put it by the door, no problem. You have to take it before Shabbos and meyachad it. Now it's your kli. Maybe clean it a little bit, whatever. You have to say this is going to be now my kli for Shabbos. But as long as it's not a kli, it's a stone in the park, then what? But it's not a kli. Nobody, I mean, because Baruch Hu created it, but not human beings, not for use. It's not a kli. Yeah. So now, elameata, called tzroros shebechotzer metaltelin, ho'il v'chazel kisui b'amana. Here's a question. Says Rovet Rovavi, excuse me, you tell me that horrible candle that smells so bad is okay and is not muktzeh according to Reb Shimon, according to Rabbi Rav Yosef. Why? Because you can cover another kli with that. Well, called tzroros shebechotzer. Any stone, any pebble in the courtyard, outside in the street, you should be allowed to carry it because I could cover it. I can take a big stone and cover my jug with it. Same thing. Omar lay, as I told you. The answer is not a no. Oh, ikotos klioleo. Hani lekotos kliolehen. Very good. This one is a kli. The other one is not a kli, which means that candle, as bad as the candle is a kli. The candle was meant to be a kli, manufactured, produced by people to be a kli. You used it for neft, and your wife is not happy with that, and the whole thing is a mess and fashtunke, fine. But the Maisa, it retains the status of a kli. So once you can find even one usage of covering another kli, that still saves its title as a kli. That's a saving grace. Mashenkin, a stone, starts with a very, very big disadvantage. A stone is not a kli. So just because you can invent all kinds of things to do with the stone doesn't make it into a kli. It's a completely different starting point. And therefore it remains a non-kli. And he's going to prove it. I'm not saying Tosfos yet because the first one to see, we have to continue now. Miloitana, didn't we learn? Miloitana, Ashiraim. I hope I have enough tomorrow here. Okay, I don't have it online, so I have it here. Miloitana, didn't we learn? Ashiraim, Vanizomim, Vatabois, Arein, Kechol, Kelim, Nitolim, Bechotzer. Shiraim, Nizomim, and Tabois are all types of jewelry. What about jewelry on Shabbos? I'm not going to the old Ishinav, but May Isha, Be'ez Hashem will get to learn. But jewelry on Shabbos, a woman is not allowed to wear jewelry outside her house into the street. Why? She may come to show it to her friend, and some even ask her even in the chotzel. So if a woman has pieces of jewelry, where? In her house in the chotzel, it's not really usable on Shabbos, and yet you're still allowed to carry it, and it's not called muktzeh. Yeah, you can carry it maybe gufa and mekoimoy. You're allowed to carry the jewelry. But what can I do with the jewelry? V'omar ula matam. Why is jewelry okay to move around if it's not usable on Shabbos for its purpose, which is wearing for the woman? Or ilvi kateres kli alea, because it has a teres kli. Even though there's a halachic barrier from using it normally, it's still called a kli. 6 days a week, it's a kli. It's a kli. It was manufactured somewhere, so people should wear it on their ears, on their hands. Yeah. Ay, Omar Nachman. Same thing over here. With that candle that doesn't smell nice, it's a kli. It's a kli that has issues. It's mugbal. It's limited to be used only as what? As a candle, but still called a kli. So as long as it can do something with it, it's good enough. And with the jewelry, you can say the same. I can find something to do with the jewelry. Now the Gemara finishes the story. Full stop. Baruch Hashem, that Rava did not put Rav Avia into shame. Baruch Hashem, he did not embarrass Rav Avia, which means Rav Avia answered everything right. Rav Avia had all the answers. So Baruch Hashem, Rav Avia was not ashamed. Yeah, it wasn't good. I guess Rav Avia, if Rav Avia wouldn't be dumbfounded, if Rav Avia would have been, stumped, it would have been, maybe it would be makpid on Rava, would be upset with Rava, would start the whole business. This way everyone was happy. Rava answered the hard questions. He got the answers. Everything is good. Me. Very good. So Rav Yehuda holds no. Rav Yehuda holds the difference between Shiraim and the candle. The Rav Yehuda holds not to use it, right? Neft also total, right? So here the Poshup Pshat, you can say that he believes that covering it is not enough of a use. Maybe it's not called Shimush, right? As opposed to the Tachshitim. But I'm not sure what the difference is. You have a good point. I want to take you to Toisfus. Toisfus, at the beginning, it says everything I told you. Look at the second half. That may answer your question too. The second half of Toisfus, like 5 lines from the bottom of the page, middle of the dibur, the nifta also l'taltela. Wow. You hear that? We're talking here, even everything we said wasn't only according to Rabbi Shimon, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, which means, Rabbi Yehuda, of course, what does he say? Rabbi Yehuda says, if you lit it on this Shabbos, Friday afternoon, it's Muktzeh. Such a candle is out of the question. So which candles did we say that if you lit it with oil is okay, and with neft is not okay? According to Rabbi Yehuda as well. The one of mateches, of metal, shar l'tiltula. You're allowed to carry it. Stop for a second. A candle made out of mateches that I didn't light with this Shabbos. I took it out of the cupboard. Can I carry it according to Rabbi Yehuda? Yes. There's no migadis katzoi, and there is no mius. It's not mos. It's nice. Metal is nice and clean. No problem. Use it whatever you want. Yeah. The afil Rabbi Yehuda, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, you can carry. Very good. The one for metal, it wasn't used this afternoon, Friday afternoon. It's made out of nice, clean, shiny nerosta. Very good. The nefta also afilo Rab Shimon. Oh, why is the one of neft is also afilo Rab Shimon? The moist tfei minel yoshon. Get that? What did I tell you? It's not wrong what I told you originally that Muktzeh machmas mius is Muktzeh. If it's Muktzeh machmas mius, meaning I lit it once with regular oil, regular flame, not so nice, not so elegant. Yeah, I'm not going to put my cherry there. Yeah, whatever, the cake. And therefore, according to Rabbi Shimon, Muktzeh machmas mius, that alone is not a reason to set it aside. Of course, Rabbi Yehuda says yes. Rabbi Yehuda is always saying you're setting everything aside. Rabbi Shimon says no. But that, the neft thing is so terrible, the smell. There's really nothing you can do. That level of mius, even Rabbi Shimon holds, is so disgusting, nothing he will do with it. Could be the Poshet argued he thinks it's worse than the shiraim, than the jewelry. Maybe jewelry can use for other things, but something that smells so bad, you won't. Maybe. Possibly. Now, the Rabbi Yosef, sharu afilu Rabbi Yehuda. Wow. Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef said it's okay, even according to Rabbi Yehuda. Why? The loy mois ela sharei chora. Loy mois, it's not so bad really. It smells very bad. The chazir lekisui beimono. Because you can carry you can cover it, you can cover something else with it, that's good enough. They say just the other way around. And then Yoshon is more disgusting, interestingly enough, and that is the one he's not going to cover. Funny, interesting. That's what they hold. So I guess, I'm not sure, I hear a question. I guess the jewelry is something very nice and shiny and amazing and nice. Jewelry is nice. Chachamim said, don't take it out to the street, don't wear it to the street. Okay, so she'll do something else with it in the house. She'll play Monopoly with her kids. Yeah. The shaken, the thing that's so bad, right? Even to cover it, either it's not called usage or you won't do it. It's too bad. You can't use that at all. That's probably what Rav Yehuda holds. One of the two. Shkoyech, Friday, Shabbos. Tomorrow's Omid I prepared. And it's really not hard. So I rely on you guys to do your homework. And I'll see you again on Sunday with Mem Zayin Omid Beis, end of the Perek. Sunday, we're starting in Meretz Hashem, B'meto Emnin. Okay, all about Bishul again. Story about Elisha, about Knafayim, very interesting. Agaritis as well. A lot of fun we're going to have. Bezos Hashem, Hashem should save Klal Yisrael, the Chatufim, and the soldiers. Everyone should come back home safe. And thank you to our YouTube participants. Thank you and good job.